Hi there, I'm Ironiq, and welcome to my hardcore world. I've previously spent 400 days here, so I do recommend you go watch those. But before you do, make sure you subscribe and like the video. I'm so close to 50k subs, so it would mean a lot. Now, here's what I did in 400 days. I defeated a woodland mansion, made a full-size diamond beacon, made an automatic creeper farm, took out a wither and ender dragon at the same time, and last but not least, I built a giant wall around my base. Now, there's a lot of things I want to accomplish in these 500 days. First, I want to finish the gold beacon. Next, I want to build a giant doghouse and breed lots of dogs. And with those dogs, I wanted to fight and defeat a wither with them. Then I want to complete phase 2 of the giant wall. What is phase 2? Well, I guess you guys are gonna have to find out. And the last thing I would want to do is defeat a raid. This is debatably one of the hardest things you can do in hardcore. Now that we know what we need to accomplish, let's get straight into the 500 days. Day 401. As always, I went to say hello to my horses, and as you can tell, they missed me a ton. I usually don't do this, but I also went to say hi to my cows. The same cows I breed and slaughter to get my food. Yeah, kind of fucked up now that I think about it. Now, the first thing I wanted to do was fix the left side of the wall because I'm OCD and can't handle the right side of the wall being closer in than the left side was. And it was only 3 blocks off. So, as you can tell, I'm very OCD. And from afar, you probably couldn't even tell that they're different. But, you know, I could. And it was hurting my head. So I started by taking down the whole left side of the wall. Lots and lots of demolition later, the left side of the wall was down. Day 104, I figured out the spacing of the spruce wood on the wall next to the left side of the wall because I kind of screwed it up because it was screwed up, okay? And I wanted it spaced out exactly like how the other one on the other side was. By day 405, it was done and time to build the left side of the wall. So that's what I did. Section by section, the wall was coming along. And finally, by day 408, the left side of the wall was done. The next thing I needed to do was fix the spacing of the spruce wood on the front side of the wall because it was all kinds of fucked up. Many complicated maths equations later, I figured it out. And as you can tell, it looked pretty good. And you may wonder why there's a big gap there. That's because the middle didn't line up exactly even, and we will be doing something there in phase 3 of the wall. So that's why I left that gap. Day 410, I woke up feeling dangerous. If you know, you know. Anyways, I decided to make a much easier way to get to the creeper farm and other future farms. As you can tell, it was going to be a very dangerous task. I started in the nether room and mined out the entrance, and for once, this didn't take so long. Once I had it all mined out, I began putting stairs in. Once the stairs were in, I began making the entrance. Day 412, I started placing the walls. Lots and lots of stone brick placing later, the walls were done. The start of day 413, I decided to finish the outer entrance. It was pretty simple. All I did was add doors and windows, and the entrance was done. I then finished off the hallway with placing the ceiling, and just like that, it was done. It was day 414, and the next thing I wanted to accomplish was to finish the gold beacon. I may have forgot to mention that I started this in the last 400 days. Whoops. Anyways, I decided to fly far out and start mining for some gold. And after mining for a little bit, I quickly realized that this is a very difficult way to get lots of gold, and that there was a much easier way to do this. So I headed up to the surface and flew home. Day 415, I headed to the Nether. And let me tell you, this was a much better plan to get lots and lots of gold. I would mine all of the gold, which would give me golden nuggets, which I then had to turn into ingots, and then turn those into blocks. And with lots of mining and lots of crafting later, you get it, lots of mining crafting. This is Minecraft. Anyways, I had over 64 gold blocks. It was day 417 and it was time to finish off the gold beacon. So I flew over to it and started placing the gold blocks. And this time I actually had extra. Who would have thought? But there was one problem. I did not have a beacon, but I did have 3 extra nether stars. No need to brag. Instead of crafting another beacon, I decided to take down the one near the obsidian chamber. Once the beacon was destroyed, I headed back to the gold beacon to place the final piece. And this time, I decided to go for haste too. So now almost everywhere you go with inside the wall, I now have haste too. Pretty cool. Day 418, I wanted to mark out the place to build a giant doghouse. So that's what I did. By day 419, I built a big spruce box. I then added a big spruce roof on top of it. And it looked kind of bad, I'm not gonna lie. So I decided to outline the roof with stone brick. Day 420, lol, I finished the roof. I then headed inside to make the floor. I also tried figuring out the windows and entrances. I also tried building a dog bone on the top of the roof. It looked okay, but I didn't like the direction it was going. So on day 421, I switched the direction. It looked okay. Kind of looks like a dog bone, I guess. Next, I made more floors inside the doghouse with a ladder to connect them. Day 422, there was a creeper inside the doghouse, but it was no match for me. I then made the windows on every floor. Day 423, I tried adding detail to the outside. It was now night as I looked over at the doghouse. It looked okay. It definitely needed some more work. So on day 424, I added some lanterns, a flower holder thingy, and some trap doors. I then began detailing all around the rest of the doghouse. And by day 427, the outside was done, and it looked decent. Probably could have done better, but it was definitely decent. The next thing I needed to do was to connect the doghouse up with the path. So that's what I did, and it actually looked pretty dang good. Like, look at this like little intersection thing. It looked not bad. Hey, it's there. it looked good, I guess. Day 428, it was time to find some doggies. So I grabbed some bones and headed out. I flew around for a little bit and actually found one pretty quickly. And look at that, it only took one bone, but I needed more than one dog in order to start breeding them. So I kept looking. I eventually found 2 more and headed home. I brought them in their newly built doghouse, and as you can tell, they loved it. I then bred them for the first time. Aw, how cute. Day 430, I made every floor of the doghouse a different color. Why, you may ask? Well, my idea was to have each floor have lots of dogs, and the color of their collar will match the color of the floor they're on. The next thing I wanted to do was make another cool farm. So on day 431, I decided to start making an iron golem farm. I used the design I found on YouTube, and on day 433, some of the farm was built. But on day 434, I decided to take it down because I wasn't liking how it was going. Day 435, I went out to collect lots of spruce wood because basically all my projects require it. So might as well get lots of it. I cut down trees for a full 2 days and finished on day 436. And I'd say it was worth it because just look at all the freaking spruce wood I got. Day 437, I went up to the AFK spot on the creeper farm to AFK for a few days. Day 440, I was done and I headed down to see how much gunpowder I'd collected. And yeah, that's quite a bit. I then headed to a desert to collect lots and lots of sand. And is it just me, or is this one of the most satisfying things to do in Minecraft? Day 441, I began crafting lots and lots of TNT. I ended up using every single piece of gunpowder that I had. And that was a mistake because quickly after, I realized I was almost out of rockets. So I had to go back up to the AFK spot to AFK for another few days. Day 445, I collected all the gunpowder from the farm. I then grabbed all the sugarcane and made it into paper. And with that, I combined the gunpowder and paper to make lots and lots of rockets. I then decided to breed some cows. I then noticed that my sheep farm was overflowing with wool. So I grabbed some, made some carpets, and finished the carpet by the wheat farm. I also placed some with the villagers. Day 446, I slaughtered some cows because all the dog breeding was taking lots of frickin' steak. Day 447, I headed into the Nether to collect some wither skeleton heads. Lots of wither skeleton killing later, I finally got the first head, but I needed 2 more. And I actually found the second one pretty quickly, but the third one was a pain to get like the first, but I eventually got it. I now had all 3 heads I needed, so I headed home. Day 448, and it was time to fight the wither with my pack of dogs. I dyed all the collars of the dogs I was going to take blue, just so I could tell which ones took on the wither and if they survived. I unsat the dogs and headed into the obsidian chamber. I placed down the heads and the battle was on. I started by shooting it with my bow, but it charged me. It was killing lots of my dogs, so I had to go all out and start swinging my sword. A few more hits, the wither was defeated. I looked around to see if there was any survivors, and sadly, there was not. The wither had killed them all. I looked into the distance at my base. It was a sad time. Day 449, I headed into the Nether. It was time to use up all that TNT I collected. I began making a strip mine for all the TNT, and once I did that, I placed the TNT evenly spacing all of it apart. I then lit the TNT and sat back and watched the fireworks, but they were cut short by some stupid gravel. I collected the netherite and continued lighting the TNT. It took me a very, very long time, but by day 452, I had used all the TNT and collected all the ancient debris. I then headed home. I ended up getting a total of 48 ancient debris. Not too bad. I then grabbed a name tag to name one of the dogs I brought to my base. I named him Saber, because my dog, IRL, is named Saber. And just look at the resemblance. I mean, they're basically identical twins at this point. The next thing I wanted to do was start phase 2 of the giant wall. So on day 454, that's what I did, by marking out more spruce wood posts. I did this until day 457. I flew around to see how it was looking. It looked good so far, but was nowhere near done. The next thing I needed to do was place lots and lots of cobblestone. So on day 458, that's what I did. But I quickly realized how low my tools were getting. So I headed to the Enderman farm. Lots of swinging my sword later, everything was repaired. I then headed home. Day 459, I headed far out to do some mining. But the funny thing was, I wasn't actually mining for valuables. I was kind of just going there to strip mine for cobblestone. And the other stuff was just kind of a bonus. So I began strip mining, collecting lots of cobblestone. I arrived home on day 460 and began placing more cobblestone. I was placing cobblestone until day 463. I ran out of cobblestone, so I headed back into the mines to get even more. For the next few days, I was again strip mining. And the weirdest thing happened. I mined straight into my base. Yeah, that was not planned, but kind of cool. Day 465, I placed even more cobblestone on the walls. At this point, you could probably make a drinking game out of all the times I say cobblestone, because I'm pretty sure I've said it about 100 times. Day 466, I watched the sunset, but my wall kind of blocks it now. RIP. Day 467, guess what? I again went mining for more cobblestone. I don't think I realized how big this wall project was, because this is taking forever. Day 469, lol, I was done mining and headed home. Day 470, I began placing the rest of the cobblestone on the wall. It was done. Well, the cobblestone part was. Next, I needed to place lots of stone brick, so I headed to my auto smelter to smelt lots of cobblestone. Day 471, I began placing the stone brick, and by day 473, a good majority of the wall had stone brick. So while I was waiting for more cobblestone to smelt, I started placing a path on the top of the wall. Once I was done with that, it was back to placing more stone brick. And then after that, I went back to placing more path. But this time, I decided to just finish off the whole thing instead of waiting for more stone brick. Day 479, I was out of stone brick yet again. So I flew out to get some more. By day 480, I had enough cobblestone to finish the rest of the wall. Day 483, phase 2 of the wall was finally done. Yeah, that took so freaking long. I flew around to see the finished product, and dang, I'd say it looks pretty good so far. Just wait till phase 3 and this thing will look insane. After all that hard work, I needed a break. So on day 484, I headed up to the AFK spot on the creeper farm to do some AFKing. Day 490, I was done AFKing and headed down to see all the gunpowder I had collected. And with that gunpowder, I crafted lots and lots of fireworks, because you can never have enough of them. Day 491, I decided to cut down some more spruce wood. So the last thing I wanted to accomplish was defeat a raid. So on day 492, I headed out to find a pillager outpost. And this took a while, but I eventually found one at the edge of a spruce forest. I killed the pillagers inside and got the curse thingy, whatever you call it, then headed home. As soon as I arrived, the raid began. I sat atop my base and shot down at them. I used my bow to take out the whole first wave. The second wave was very easy again, but I couldn't find the last guy. I looked for ages and finally found him chilling under the bridge. Wave 3 was again very easy, but I did find my first Ravager. That was cool. Wave 4 was again very easy. I just sat on top of my wall and shot down at them. And somehow one of them got in the base. How dare he? It was now wave 5 and I sat on my wall again and took them all out. Wave 6, I rapidly fired my bow on top of the mountain and it actually worked pretty well. It was now wave 7 and it started off pretty easy again, but then the Vexes happened. They did a lot of damage to me, so I quickly flew away. In midair, I switched my elytra with my chest plate, causing me to fall and almost killing me. Yeah, 2 hearts. That was pretty close. I regrouped and went back in, but there was a ton of Vexes. Like, can we just take a minute and look how many freaking Vexes there are? Jesus. Anyways, it took me a while, but I finally took out the final wave and got hero of the village. I felt accomplished. Day 196, I headed to the end to repair all my stuff. The last thing I did in these few days was make a tunnel to connect the walls at the top of my base and staircases that went into my base so I could easily access the top of the wall. And I think it turned out pretty good. It was now day 499 and I decided to chill on the dock and do some fishing. And just like that, it was day 500. I did it. I survived 500 days in hardcore Minecraft. Let me know how you guys think I did. I hope you guys did enjoy. Make sure you like and subscribe. And if you aren't already, click that bell because I think you want to stay up to date with me. Don't you? Don't you? Oh, and go follow me on Twitter. I would appreciate it. And yeah, that's it for this video. I hope you guys did enjoy and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Missing someone.